Here we are at the sunny Santa Monica track. Dave, Coach Dave is getting all kinds of text messages now. Must be from the Avalon show. Everyone ordering tickets that wants to go, right? Dave, what are you repping? Garcia Boxing, certified.
Certified. Brand new. And thanks, Sam. Thanks for the shirt, Sam.
That must be Sam Garcia.
Yep, it is.
I am not yet certified.
Editor-in-chief, Dougie Fischer.
I don't have the little blue check mark
you got
by
Garcia
my
Boxing
Twitter
too. A lot of Garcia
Yeah, but
boxing.
I'm not certified. I'm not certified.
And
You got to pay
NYPD.
your dues.
Nice.
I'm still working at it, though.
And Samir was our star translator at the Triple G Canelo media event in LA.
Всем привет.
On last minute notice.
Samir's ready for Tuesday night at the Avalon.
And JP, we gave you a new JP the Guru now.
Okay, that'll work.
All
That's
right.
good. We had a good weekend, Tom.
Good weekend, right? What
Abel
did you...
Sanchez fighters 3-0 in France. Thank you, Abel, for the money.
That's right. Abel's in France right now. He's flying back tonight.
Yep.
And he'll have Ryan Martin and
Sergey Boachuk.
Sergey Boachuk from
Can't
Ukraine.
wait.
Yeah.
And Dave Boachuk, who is a beast.
Tell
a
us
thin
about
man.
Boachuk, Doug. Tell
He's
us
from
about this guy.
Ukraine. He's 6-0, 6 knockouts. I watched him spar with Michael Soro.
Oh, wow.
And you know Soro
can
is
fight.
world class.
Yeah,
Soro
he
is
can
world
fight.
class at
Yeah.
junior middleweight and middleweight.
Great
He's the
fighter.
former European middleweight champ from France. And Boachuk is a welterweight. So Boachuk was getting good work with Michael Soro and with a 6'4" middleweight from either from Riverside or
Oh, right,
maybe
the tall
from the
guy.
Coachella
Really, yeah,
area
that was good work.
that
And
Ben
he's-
Lira brought up.
Yeah, he's in a great fight. Lucius Johnson, local
Lucius
guy.
Johnson
Yeah.
is the guy who almost had what's the guy's name? He's an Armenian kid,
Heard
Golden
him in
Boy.
right.
Yeah, Ferdinand.
Heard him in the last round.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's
Prospect.
name, but he's a really hot prospect. He's Armenian, just 20 years old. Golden Boy Promotions just signed him, and he looked like a blue chip prospect against Lucius, who's from Compton. But Lucius had him out in
Right.
the final round.
That guy
Lucius,
can fight and he can
very
punch.
difficult guy.
That's probably that could be the fight of the night.
It has Ryan Scully as mark of approval.
Yeah.
So
Ryan,
there you go.
Ryan
Yeah.
improved on that one.
Boachuk.
And Boachuk is 6-0 with 6 knockouts, and
Yes.
Lucius Johnson is.
Yeah, he's
got
like
a-
5-2-1,
Yeah,
but those
something
two
like that,
losses,
but
he was very competitive.
very competitive,
And
yeah.
and he was in against
Yeah.
very talented fighters.
Yeah, and Ryan Martin is headlining the show, so it'll be great to see Ryan back in the ring after his.
Absolutely.
We're looking for a title shot for Ryan. He's one of your favorite fighters, right, Coach?
I like Ryan
Not
Martin.
only
He's
favorite
really
fighters,
good.
but Dave and I loved when he was here at the track and
Yeah.
visited us. Well-spoken kid, great
guy.
prospect,
Yeah.
really nice guy. I can't wait to see Ryan fight.
So, Dave, where's the show going to be? In Hollywood?
Hollywood and Vine.
Hollywood and Vine, the world famous historic Avalon Theater.
It is.
Avalon
Plenty
Theater.
of parking.
Yep.
Good
Parking right next
food.
door. Yeah, there's gonna be food. Doors open at 5. Happy hour 5 to 6. First fight should be around 6:15, right in that range. And Doug, it'll be on live on Ring TV.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a Ring
there we
TV
go.
production.
Doug Fisher is actually going to be one of the commentators
Yeah,
with Steve
I'm sorry
Kim.
about that. Steve
Doug-
Kim as well.
Doug and
so
Steve, the
double sorry,
Doug and
double
Steve.
apologies
Dynamic
to all
duo.
you haters.
The next round.
And the much more attractive Cynthia Conte is
Yeah,
going to be
don't
the.
have to apologize for that.
She's going to be the hostess of the night, so it'll be.
She'll be doing interviews and stuff like that.
Interviews, the celebrities, everything like
That's
that.
great.
It'll be a great night. Yeah, definitely food. Mr. Boxing Guru says he was surprised there's gonna be food, but there'll be food at the club, and it's gonna turn into a nightclub afterwards. We're gonna take the chairs out, and the dance floor is gonna turn into a
And
nightclub.
what if you drink too much? How do you get home?
Take a lift.
Uber, or there's a metro station right down the block.
Metro.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the fights last night.
Tom, I'll take
Wanna
over.
take over,
Yeah.
or maybe Samir can even take over.
Yeah, it's cool. Samir, you go on camera today.
JP, tell us the results of those 3 fights in France. I know Soro won.
Okay, so Soro won his fight.
Yeah.
The guy who they had a betting line on, who I asked Tom about this week, this is Abel's cruiserweight.
Yeah, he's
He's
very
an
good.
interim champion
Very
now.
solid,
I hope
yeah.
I don't mess his name up. Scully will tell me if I'm right. Arsen Goulamarian.
That's right.
Goulamarian.
Yeah, he's French Armenian.
And this guy's like almost like a mini Gasayev in the pressure and the style of fighting that Abel has him fighting.
Yeah.
He just wore the guy down from Belgium. The guy from Belgium was boxing well for the first few rounds, but this guy just stays right on top of you, and it's pressure, and punches and punches. Got an 11th round stoppage.
Abel's
and
very high on him.
very good fighter.
And you can't get a better sparring partner than him and Gassiev.
Now, is he French? He fights out of France, right?
Fights out of France, yeah. I think you're right. I think he's French Armenian. But,
Okay.
Not 100% sure.
I'm telling you, the cruiserweight
I just call
division.
him Arson. You know?
Yeah, he's a great fighter. The cruiserweight division's on fire.
Yeah,
Is that being streamed?
You could find it on Canal Sport Plus. You had to
Canal
find
Plus, yeah.
you had to find ulterior ways to watch.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
And then was the third one the super middleweight, who's also
Soro, and then I don't know the third fighter. Scully, are you there? Can you write in with the third fighter that won for Abel yesterday?
Third fighter either.
Yeah,
But,
I'm not sure.
And then, Dillian White had a big win all the way from the O2.
He looked
arena,
good.
Right?
He looked
O2
good.
that Triple G sold out in 11 minutes. But he had a nice win over Lucas Brown.
Abel's third fighter. Abel's third fighter was
Which nightclub?
Louis.
Oh yeah. Bouncer. He was Big Daddy Brown. He's Bouncer Brown. He got bounced.
Louis
The
Tatum
bouncer got
was Abel's third fighter.
The club bouncer got bounced. But that was brutal.
Yeah.
That was a
Dominant
frightening
performance.
knockout. The
Dominant
guy goes down
performance.
face down with his arm like that, and he
they
remains
had the
face
oxygen
down.
right away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
Dillian White, you can't sleep on him. I was there at the O2 when he fought Anthony Joshua, and he had Joshua wobbled a little bit, and that guy can fight.
He can punch
He's
to the
got
body.
a good
Dillian
jab.
White
He has
can
long
definitely fight.
arms. He's got a solid chin. He's when he's in condition, he's got good stamina, and like you just noted, he's proud of his body work.
Yeah.
I think that's like his nickname now. I mean,
Body
the body
yeah,
snatcher.
yeah.
Body
He used to
snatcher,
be
yeah.
Dillian the villain, the villain.
Yeah.
But they changed it to body.
I like the
snatcher
body
now.
He
snatcher.
should be a body snatcher too.
That's a great
Yeah,
matchup.
right.
If, apparently, he's the mandatory, or be the next mandatory for Deontay Wilder.
It's a dangerous
We were
fight
just-
because of his
It's a good
reach
fight.
and his jab. It's a
If
very
you were
dangerous
Brown's handlers, would you have stopped that fight
fight.
earlier?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you could have stopped the fourth round on. You could have stopped it. I mean, it was.
We were just talking about this, Mr. Boxing Guru. This is question for Dougie Fischer. Thoughts on the Joshua Franco stoppage last night?
You know what? I missed it.
Yeah.
I did not see that. I didn't see the stoppage. I saw like the early rounds of the fight. And it
First
looked like
loss
a
of his
Joshua,
career.
Yeah, Joshua Franco fight. But I was, JP informed me of it, and I was telling him, the kid, he's young enough to where he can come back. I know it's a bitter pill for him to swallow. But maybe psychologically, it's like if it was a somewhat controversial, a quick stoppage, he can tell himself that, and then they can also look at what led to him getting caught. Was he fatigued? So maybe there's some changes with the conditioning. One thing I know about Franco is he's got a varied arsenal, but sometimes he likes to throw everything. And he leaves himself open. In the past, he's been buzzed early. I've seen him buzzed in the first and second rounds, but he always rights the ship and comes back to either outpoint or stop his opponent, whoever wobbled him. But this time it happened later in the fight.
Tough loss. He was
And,
up on the cards, I'm sure. so.
Yeah, he probably was. But he's a good fighter, and it's happened early enough in his career where he can come back.
Yeah.
That was a nice show from
He's like maybe
from Puerto
if
Rico.
he's
That's
Golden
nice.
Boy did a good job with the
21,
show, yeah.
maybe,
nice.
but he might be like 20. Dave.
So
So-
we,
And that was on main ESPN.
It was,
I was
that's
at the
good.
gym. This is why I love that. I was at the gym and they had the boxing up.
Yeah.
I'm like, boxing, it must be a rerun, and it was on main ESPN. So that was.
it's great to see
that was
boxing
nice.
on main ESPN.
Yeah, that was nice. It looked
You
like
know,
it was a nice
getting
atmosphere
stopped like that might be the best thing that ever happened to him.
Sure.
Maybe.
It might change.
Yeah, it's not like he was out cold.
He was real
for
upset.
5 minutes or anything
Right.
like that. It was.
And also, he might learn a lot from it, like pacing himself.
Yeah.
And Dave,
Getting-
you never know. Maybe the ref did him a favor.
It's
You know what I mean?
controversial.
Like maybe. So he had this wobbly moment, and maybe he would have come back. Maybe he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So we have
You
over
know, maybe there
1,000
was enough
people
time
right
for him
now.
to
That's
take a
amazing.
beating.
People are
also,
excited this week.
What was the other show? What was the one from India? It was Ryan Garcia that had that.
Oh, that was on Thursday night.
That was
Yeah.
on Thursday night.
Big knockout by Ryan
Another
Garcia.
highlight, Sports Center worthy highlight knockout.
That guy is getting a nice following going right there.
Yeah,
Social
and the guy
media.
he knocked out is sturdy, by the way. Fernando Vargas went 8 competitive rounds with Christopher Diaz, who's developed into a contender. He's a top-ranked guy. When Christopher Diaz was 18-0, this dude went 8 rounds with him and won a couple rounds. And he almost upset Horacio Garcia, a member of Canelo Alvarez's camp, who just gave Carl Frampton fits.
Okay,
in
right,
Ireland,
Garcia.
in Belfast, I believe.
So I know we have-
and Garcia, experienced, big, strong dude.
Yeah.
And this dude,
Two periscopes.
Okay, now we're back. Sorry about
Technical
yeah,
difficulties.
technical difficulties. Samir solved it. Dave, we're still everyone's still here. What were we Doug Fischer, what were we just Samir's
We
still
lost
here?
Doug. So we're gonna recap.
Okay.
We're gonna recap the weekend. We're gonna have questions with Dave. If you have any questions for Tom and Doug, write in. We got a huge week. 360 promotions Tuesday at the Avalon. I saw that
And don't forget Brian Sabalo is making his pro debut.
pro debut Tuesday night.
Is he bringing many people?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say about. We were just talking about Ryan Garcia, and let's see, the one guy said there's so many viewers that crashed the broadcast. That's a good reason.
well, you
crashed-
mentioned, we were talking
crashed the
about
server.
Ryan Garcia. So
We were talking about Ryan Garcia. and I
Ryan
was just
Garcia's
gonna say,
army just jumped on there, the King Ryan army.
It's so important for a young fighter.
Good morning,
up-and-coming
Barbosa.
fighter,
Love you too, man.
to promote themselves, to sell tickets. I mean, it makes such a big difference on the promotional side. And then promoters want to put those guys on. So Ryan Garcia is always going to get, the top spot on that type of thing. And Brian Sabalo has great personality, great charisma, great amateur career, and so we're looking forward to him making his pro debut.
Yeah.
So who's the first athlete that had an army following him?
There's a Barmy Army from Martin Murray. That's one.
But the
In
first,
sports.
in sports, to have
An army.
called it the army.
It was Kiss
Was it a
Army.
boxer?
he's
I
not
was a member of
He's
Kiss
not a
Army.
boxer.
I was.
He wasn't a boxer.
See, it's
So was- so
$5
was
a year.
Bernie Barmasol was the Kiss Army.
Was
also,
he?
yeah.
Bernie, it was $5 a year, wasn't it?
So the numbers are
But it was Arnie. Arnie's army.
the numbers
Arnie's
are
Army?
slowly going
Arnold
back up.
Palmer.
Triple
Arnold
G
Palmer.
retweeted.
Oh, you know what? There's,
Cynthia retweeted. We'll see you
I remember
Tuesday.
Marty's
Cynthia,
Army.
Cynthia Conte will see you
We'll see
Tuesday
you
night.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night at the Avalon Theater.
Okay, so we're gonna recap the weekend.
We're gonna go to.
I'm gonna hand the camera to Samir. Samir, thanks a
Yeah,
lot, man.
no problem.
We're gonna see you Tuesday night.
Yes, first row, I'll be there.
All right.
Okay, so we're
Don't,
gonna
don't be shy about
Now we're
answering.
gonna go to a couple
Okay.
birthdays. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Here's one. Doug had a personal relationship with this guy.
Okay.
Dennis Rappaport. Didn't you?
No.
Wait, wasn't that the guy that gave you the money for?
For House of Boxing?
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Mark Roberts.
That was Mark
Oh,
Roberts.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then Dennis Rappaport.
Dennis Rappaport.
God, so he was a manager, right?
Yeah, he was manager. I remember Dennis
Okay,
Rappaport.
forget it.
I'm gonna say he's in his mid-70s.
Yeah, I'm going to say 72.
70. What is it?
Do you know him?
I know him, but I don't know his birthday.
72.
I'm going to go first on that one.
69.
73.
73?
Good Tom. I
That
just
could have
said
done the prices
mid-70s.
right.
Yeah.
So he said mid-70s, so we're
Yeah.
right in there.
72 is a lot closer. Yeah.
Okay, here's one that Tom might get. Vladimir Klitschko.
Vladimir Klitschko?
Oh, what a time.
Yeah, his birthday is today.
Oh,
That's right.
I'll say
happy
it's
birthday,
March,
Vladimir.
42?
March 19th, yeah. No, March 25.
Yeah.
March 25, that's right.
yeah, today's the 25th. Yep.
Today.
How old
Just
is Vlad?
retired last year.
So Vlad
He's
is.
either
Do you want to
41.
take the
He's either
first guess, or
41.
do you want me to take the first guess?
Let me take the first guess. 41.
I'm going to guess,
If you miss this one, Tom,
I'm going to guess,
Pressure's on.
At this point in time,
he's exactly,
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah.
oh, you're
No.
panicking.
No, I know. He's, well, it's either 41 or 42.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
'Cause
say
wasn't he 40?
42.
Yeah, wasn't he 40 when he fought Anthony Joshua?
Say
That was last year?
39.
Okay, 40. You got it.
42. Tom,
Hey, you know,
Glad you
I
got
was
that
the
one, Tom.
spider.
I better get that one.
Wow.
I was building the drama a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. It's
Well, I
not,
was just lucky Doug didn't say 42.
I know.
question, why doesn't Triple G fight Charlo if the Canelo fight doesn't go ahead?
Well, there was big news on Friday. You know, Eric Gomez and I were up there at the commission, and they issued a temporary suspension. So, you know, everything is just really in limbo right now. We haven't made any contingency plans, and we just have to wait to see what the commission does. Naturally, whatever the commission rules, Canelo Triple G is the biggest fight in boxing. So, you know, we got to figure out
Do you
how to
want
make
the
that.
ruling now? Because I can give you the ruling.
You want to?
I know the whole thing.
Dave?
They're gonna fight, Dave.
There's way too much
Well,
money
you
involved.
predicted it was going to happen May
I
5
knew it.
originally,
I mean,
before like what 2 months before
way
we signed
before.
the
And all the
contract.
hardcore heads were like, it's not
But,
happening.
Yeah.
What is
No, but I have
interesting?
to say that the Nevada Commission is doing they're taking it very seriously, and they're following all the rules, and they give us an update on all the investigation that they're doing, and you know, everything that they've asked Canelo to do, he's complied with. Taken multiple tests, so you know, we'll see. We have to, but they didn't give us an indication what they're gonna do.
It's all fluff. That's all. It's all fluff. It's going through. They're doing this just to make it look good.
Now they're going
There's
to
no
cancel the fight
way-
just to spite Coach.
No, there's no way.
Bob
that Las
Bennett's watching
Vegas,
like, I'll show you.
no, there's no way.
Keep talking. Just keep
Las
talking.
Vegas is not letting this fight get away.
No,
There's
Vegas
too
is
much
excited
money
about
involved. And I think it's good. It's okay. It's all good.
What's interesting from a
And-
gambling perspective is there's been more money bet on Canelo this week with all the stuff he's been talking.
Oh, yeah?
And also with the tension between both fighters now, I wonder if maybe, I know last time Doug was positive it would go the distance, and he was right.
Positive.
He was the only one who was
No
right.
doubt in my mind.
But I'm saying this time maybe we see a knockout. Maybe.
Well,
Doug says no.
it's definitely elevated all the rhetoric. You know,
Yeah.
Triple G was in camp, and he was frustrated with the whole process, and he said a few things, and
Yeah.
Canelo came right back the
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah.
And none of that was staged, so
Yeah.
you know. But it really picked up. You know, made the headlines and the
Listen, I
ESPN
think
ticker.
it'll be more lively. I think they're going to punch with badder intentions.
All those.
But the bottom line is, both guys have reliable chins,
chins,
and
yeah.
they're good defensively.
Well, you know, you saw him sparring.
Canelo
in
Canelo moves right, and you know what? And Gennady buzzed Canelo, but he deals with it. Like he deals
In
with
sparring or in the
adversity.
fight?
In sparring.
In the sparring, yeah.
Oh, sparring. No, he was 20.
Right, he was young.
Yeah.
But what my point is that, you know, I think the first fight, both guys had so much respect for each other because they sparred with each other,
True.
and because they're both top pound for pound fighters.
And they both can punch.
Marketing.
You have to be respectful to a puncher.
Right. Right.
You don't
So-
you don't respect a puncher, then you will get knocked out, even if you do have a reliable chin. But my thing is, these guys have good chins and they're good defensively.
Yeah.
They're adept.
Well,
They
Canelo was very defensive.
He's got good head and upper body movements, and he moved his legs
And he-
better and more than we're used to seeing from him. But Gennady has underrated defensive craft. He's not slick and slippery, but he blocks. He blocks
And he rolled with a few
tucks,
punches.
tucks. He knows how to tuck the chin. Even when he's squared up, he knows how to tuck the chin. The hands, like the hands will be here, and when he's in range to punch, he knows that the other guy's in range to punch. So the hands come up, and then he just takes. He's not like all like this. He's a step back, and then he's back on the jab, back on the grind, but he's blocking, and it's hard to nail him flush on the chin.
Doug,
But even when you do, he can take it.
Did you just say he walked through Canelo's best punches and kept coming forward?
We all saw
Is that
that.
what you said? Is that what you saw,
I heard
JP?
it. That's what I saw.
The
You know
uppercut,
what I saw.
the big right hand, and he
You
just
know
kept
what?
going
He ate some
forward.
uppercuts a few times when Canelo was on the ropes. There was this uppercut that would have buzzed a lot
We
of
should
guys.
ask the
not
Periscope
drop
And
it.
isn't
viewers,
that,
how many
isn't that
viewers do we
frustrating
have, Samir,
for a
right
fighter?
now?
When you
Right
really
now,
invest demoralizing.
550.
Okay, we should ask the people watching, do you agree with Doug or not? Over or under 11.5 rounds for the rematch? Right in. Let us know. Canelo versus Triple G.
Is that the official line?
11.5 is the Vegas line. Is it going over or under 11.5, guys? What do you think?
You know, Canelo has fast hands.
Oh, very fast
Watching
hands.
some
Yeah.
tape on him
Very fast speed,
yesterday.
yeah.
I mean, real fast hands.
Will the fight be shown in the UK?
Ah, good question.
Definitely be shown in the UK. It's going to be shown in over 120 countries. I mean, we had one of the biggest international sporting events. I can't even say it a boxing championship. It was an international sporting event the first time in September. And the buzz on this was my point, Doug, as far as with the first fight and them sparring and everything together. They had a lot of respect for the first fight. Now it just seems like the gloves are off.
Oh, the respect
You know,
is out the
really,
window.
the gloves are
Definitely.
off.
That's
No,
good.
In fact, it's. I would consider this a grudge match.
It's a grudge match.
Yeah.
Gennadi's pissed off about the decision.
They have a grudge.
He felt that he won the fight. Then this whole testing thing, now he's like, you know, he doesn't understand that whole process. So he's really pissed off. Canelo is not happy with Gennady, he said. And so the promotion this week just like spiked up. You know,
So do
tickets.
you-
We were almost sold out on the tickets. and we were exceeding already what we sold the first time, and we set the gate for the record for the third highest gate in boxing.
So do you think it's going to do over 2 million pay-per-views?
I think with the interest now, like I said, it was on CNN. It was funny. CNN showed a report, and the ticker in the background on Times Square talked about what Triple G was saying about Canelo and everything like that. I mean, it was everywhere this week. So.
Do we have an update on the undercard for that?
Well, let's see what happens with the commission. But you know, there's some things like Golden Boy was talking about Ryan Garcia on the undercard. Chocolatito might be on the show. Cecilia Brake, who's your favorite female fighter, right?
Love Cecilia.
By far. But this is my
you
view.
You put some bets on her fights, right?
I've won every time, and some knockouts as well.
Well, if you're undefeated, I guess you can't lose.
This
right?
is my view on the undercard on those fights.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's big enough.
Put anyone.
Yeah, but still.
Get guys off the street. It doesn't matter.
Big enough main event.
But it's still important
Still
for the
important
promoters
for the fans.
to use that
Yeah, for the
platform
fans.
for their
Yeah,
fighters.
so
fighters,
when
yeah.
the people
That's great
come
for
there,
Ryan Garcia if he
when
opens
the people
it.
come there for the first few fights,
come back.
and there's 300 people in the audience.
So before the Periscope cut out, we were talking about Tuesday night at the Avalon. Ring TV is going to stream it.
Ring TV.
Doug
Doug Fisher's
Fischer
going to be a
and Steve
commentator.
Kim.
Steve Kim. Cynthia Conte is going to be the
Cynthia
hostess.
Conte will give
That's
it
an all-star,
the right energy.
all-star
All-star
lineup
cast.
right there.
Hey.
Yeah.
They're the best. And
should-
Cynthia Conte has great energy. She
Great
does.
energy.
She
Mario's
is
gonna be in the house.
really good.
Yeah, Mario Lopez is supposed to be coming back from Israel. I'm supposed to be there, and yeah, it'll be great. And Cynthia, when she announced that she's going to be the hostess, then I mean that got bigger reaction than the fights itself. So,
Yeah.
but Brian Sabalo making his pro debut, Sergey
That's a big
Bohachuk, we
deal.
talked about.
Bohachuk, man,
Lucius,
that's the fight I'm
Lucius Johnson.
most looking forward to is
Now, are
it's
they fighting
Lucius
8
Johnson,
rounds?
right,
Is that
from
8
Compton.
Bohachuk? No,
Yeah.
6 rounds.
6
So
round
let
fight.
me just tell
See
you,
this fight, people.
it's
That's
sold
going to be
out.
6 rounds of nonstop action.
I've got some $100 tickets. I'll sell them to you for $450 a piece. So, but they're going fast also. And as soon as I sell a few, it's going up to $650.
It's not completely sold out yet, but it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's going to be about 700 people there. It's going to turn into a nightclub afterwards. So it not only is going to be boxing, Doug, it's going to be the after party. It's going to be in the same venue.
Hey,
And
you're
then
in
the
Hollywood.
fighter's going to be there. That Tecate girl's going
You're
to be
at the
dancing
Avalon.
in the ring.
You'll be
And
able to
it'll
see
be-
Bohachuk, Ryan Martin,
Yeah.
and you get to meet the coach in person. In person.
That's right. Ryan Martin is he's headlining the show, and he's it'll be the first fight since
And
he
his
fought
fight is a
September.
10-rounder?
He's fighting
That's
10.
a 10-round fight. Yeah. Yeah. Against
After
Flores
party,
from
let's start
Colombia.
out.
Yeah.
That's going to be really
Durable
good.
guy. That's the guy that went the distance with Anthony Peterson.
Is it?
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
Either Anthony or Lamont Peterson.
Yeah, I
He
think
went
it was
to 10
Anthony.
rounds. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be a good test. And he normally fights at 140, so that'd be a good test for
Okay,
Ryan.
so I have another birthday
Coach
here.
Dave.
Eder Joffrey.
Eder Hofre from he's the greatest
Colombia,
fighter from
isn't he?
South America. No, he's Brazilian.
A Brazilian?
Yeah, and he was bantamweight champ and featherweight champ and close to perfection.
And incredible.
His only losses was to one fighter. Probably Japan's greatest fighter. You know? Anybody here?
Yeah.
Dave knows. Fighting Harada. Had those fights been in South America, they were both in Japan.
Yeah.
Maybe Eder Hofre would have been
Think he would've
unbeaten
gotten
in
a
like 80-something fights.
Yeah.
Like his record was like 75-2-2 or something like that. Like, yeah, like the 2 losses is to a fellow great fighter, and they were razor thin. I mean,
So what do you guess on his birthday?
Hofre, Eder Hofre was let me this is my logic. Eder Hofre was part of that incredible decade of the 60s. That was his prime. It was the 60s. So I'm going to say he was in his early 20s in the 60s. So 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s.
50 years. You're at 70 right now.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna say he's 85.
85?
85.
Wow.
I'm gonna go Price is Right 84.
I'll go 80.
Oh yeah, JB. All right, now I
Price
gotta
is
be
Right.
careful. Now I gotta
Price
be
is Right.
careful. Yeah.
You guys tie 82.
Oh,
82.
okay.
Oh, right in the middle. Right.
middle.
Okay.
82.
He's in his 80s.
And I
I'm
used
glad.
to watch him on TV. all the
Usyk
time.
Gassiev, predictions for Usyk Gassiev.
You know,
That's
I
it.
can never go against my man Usyk, but Gassev's
That's
incredible.
a great fight. That's a really good fight.
I can never go against my man, but I have huge respect. Both of them won me a lot of money. I cannot wait for this fight.
I have
we
a
know where
question
it's
about
gonna
this.
be?
I have that's the
yeah,
second part
I
of my
think that's a
question. I
little
want to
bit-
know when it's going to be.
Yeah.
Then
That's a
are
little
they
bit-
going to stay on the May 11th?
Very good
That's
question.
They haven't given the official if it's
Yeah.
going to stay or it was originally like May 11th.
That's right.
In
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Let me call Robert Schaefer. Richard Schaefer.
So
Let
I
me
got
call
a
him up.
request. If we can move it, that'd be great because I have a baby girl that's due on May 11th. So if we can move that date, that would be great.
But if you talk about a 50-50 fight, that's hard to pick. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Usyk has the pedigree in the amateurs, the
Oh, what
gold
a fight.
medalist. He, had some, tremendous wins
Tremendous. On the road.
on the road. He broke the Evander Holyfield's record for winning a world championship on the road in Poland against the guy that knocked out Marco Huck.
He did. Glowacki, yeah.
And
Then went to Germany and beat Huck.
yeah, beat Hook, and then
Amazing.
and beat the guy in that was Agassi beat Dordikos, but Usyk beat in Latvia. Went to Riga
Briedis.
and beat Briedis, and Marius
Incredible
Briedis
fight.
is no joke. That guy can really fight.
Yeah, Briedis is going to be, in case of injury, Briedis has been announced
The
as the
alternate, okay.
alternate.
Are
Right,
you
that's-
going to that fight?
That's one of those 50-50 fights where Usyk was just getting into. He has a technical experience, he has the amateur experience, and then Gassiev. Just every time I see Murat up in Big Bear with Abel, he seems bigger and stronger every time I see
Bad
him.
dude,
Young
bad
guy,
man.
He is good.
big puncher. He knocked Dordikos out of the ring.
He's incredible.
So
Still learning,
that's
too.
one of those matchups that you just can't.
I hate to
that's
tell
a
you,
great
but I'm
matchup.
picking Gusev.
You're picking Gassiev. Wow.
Hey, look, I love both guys.
Yeah.
I love both guys.
guys,
Usyk
too.
is with K2 and Gassiev is with Abel. So what can you? I love both guys.
Are you going to the fight?
That's one that I'm going to try not to miss. I'm going to try to fly there wherever it is. I was in Sochi. I was in Sochi for Gassiev against Dordikos. That was a great.
Fight of the year
Triple
candidate.
G was the ambassador for that big event that they did over there.
So do you have many points on the airlines?
I had a few points. Yeah.
So will it be successful at the heavyweight? Both Gassiev and Usyk?
Probably.
I think both guys will. I think actually as a heavyweight, Gassiev has a little more upside potential
right.
just because he's the younger guy. He seems like he's got that big frame. And Usyk is just, like I said, with his technical skills, Usyk, I mean, he beats pretty much everybody just with his speed. Don't forget, he's a southpaw, he's fast, and he can punch. And the weird thing is, when he was fighting over here on HBO, didn't have his best performances. When he was over there, like you said, in Poland, in Germany against Hook, Briedis again in Latvia. I mean,
People haven't seen his best performance.
those were amazing performances.
Have you seen White's knockout?
Dillian
White.
White.
Oh, we
Yeah,
talked
should
about that
talk
on the
about
first
that. Yeah,
broadcast
talk about that,
before the server shut down because too many people were watching.
So Eddie Hearn had a big card yesterday.
Yeah,
Big
so
knockout.
another big show at the O2, and Dillian White, like I was telling the guys, I was there when Dillian fought Anthony Joshua, and he wobbled Anthony, and I would say Dillian is right up there with the best guys in the heavyweight division. He big punching power, great body shots, and dominated Lucas Brown. So he's definitely one to watch out for in the heavyweight
I
division.
did want to make mention on the undercard because we always try to name them up-and-coming prospects, and I know a couple weeks ago I mentioned to watch Chantel Cameron, who's a UK female fighter, but Eddie has a guy on the undercard last night named Louis Ritson. They call him the Sandman.
Ritson, yeah.
This guy can fight.
Sandman, I like that.
This
nickname.
guy can fight. Louis the Sandman Ritson. He knocked out Cardle in 2 rounds. This guy is a really, really good prospect out of the UK. So YouTube him, Louis Ritson.
If
The
Joshua
Sandman, I like that.
Joshua Parker goes past 6, do you think Parker will have a chance?
Yeah, I do.
Look, Parker has a chance. Parker also is. You didn't hear that much about him over here, but that guy can fight. He's got a solid trainer, and that guy can fight. I think AJ right now is the best of that really competitive division right now. But in the heavyweight division, anything can happen.
That's the weird thing about Parker, it's, as well as Usyk. Parker's best performances have been off of US TV as well, because he didn't look great in that Andy Ruiz fight. He's put on a little weight. We'll see what he weighs in for this fight. But Parker can really fight, and when he's low in weight, he has hand speed and he has power. But his best performances were kind of back home a few fights ago. So we'll see. But I give Parker a chance. The odds are.
That's a solid
crazy.
fight. What day is that fight? It's
That's
coming
this
up soon.
weekend.
So
This
next
Saturday,
weekend coming up.
Parker and Joshua with Josh Kelly versus Carlos Molina on the undercard in the UK. So that's this week's big fight.
Nice.
That'll be a good fight this Saturday in the US on Showtime. For now,
And you
Joshua's
said
on
even
Showtime.
the Avalon show, the 700-seat Avalon show, even has a betting line on, right?
It does. Ryan Martin is a big favorite.
Even Ryan Martin. Yeah,
Ryan,
Martin
you're a
has
favorite.
as a lineup.
This Tuesday, you're a favorite, Ryan. We're coming to watch you. 10 rounds.
What's the price on that fight?
Ryan's. I don't want
Look,
to tell
I'm
him. I
gonna
don't want
guess.
him to get
I'll tell
overconfident.
you. I'll tell you.
Dave, what are
I
your,
don't want
what's your
Ryan
guess?
overconfident.
8.5 to 1.
It's a little higher. He's a
little
big
bit higher than
favorite.
that.
Yeah,
What,
he's a
is it
big
like
favorite.
over 10 to 1 or something?
Yeah, it's over 20 to 1. But the thing is, it's a comeback fight after this hard fight he had on the undercard last time. So I don't want.
He broke his finger in that
broke
last
his
fight.
finger
A lot
in
of
that
people
fight.
don't know that.
Question: what's your Twitter handle and where's your betting blog?
Betting blog.
How much betting? No, man, how much do you charge a month?
See, we're gonna open a new.
Is that Barbosa asking? He asks me every time.
I was wondering the same thing. What's your Twitter handle?
I'll tell you off camera.
Hey,
To be determined.
I don't know why you have a regular job.
I
You
have-
make so much money.
Well, you
betting
know
on
what? I was
fights.
telling Tom yesterday because it was a really good yesterday. Was a really good day with Abel's fighter winning, and then Lewis Ritson under 9.5 in the UK. And Scalia knows. I showed Scalia the tickets yesterday. It was incredible. But you got to balance that, right? Because I was big on Eubank. So, and I tell Tom when I lose, not just when I win. So you got to have the regular job to steady everything out. You can't go all in on it. But it's been a good year. But when those bad weeks happen, you got to steady it out. But yesterday was incredible.
Hey, you
Yesterday
know who
was incredible.
Eubanks reminds me of?
Yeah.
David Lemieux. I mean, when
David
David
Lemieux.
Lemieux fought Saunders,
Okay.
it was like when Eubanks fought
Yeah.
the guy who lost. It was sort of the same kind of
Right.
deal going.
Right.
I mean, Eubanks sucked.
He was a
I
bad.
mean, introduced in that one.
Is it still going?
Okay,
He's
so
got. I guess he's got his old man's charm.
no, I love
The old
guy.
man was really polarizing in the UK.
Yeah.
Chris Eubanks Sr.
And I-
But he did have his own brand of charisma.
Yeah.
The son has charm and charisma,
marketable, too.
and he
Son.
has.
He's more marketable than a lot of the
He
world
is.
champions.
No, he
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
absolutely.
The way he walks the ring.
And he's
But he
likable.
just-
You want to like him.
But he's limited.
But no, but
he
you know
does.
what? You know what?
Definitely
Everyone's saying he's
underperformed
limited. I've
against
heard
Groves,
like
yeah.
in the UK, people are ripping him. He should retire. He has no power. He needs to drop down to 160. I
He's
say,
still young,
I
too,
say
right?
no.
How old
This guy is
How old
good.
is Eubank Jr.?
Oh, he's like 20. He's in his
No,
mid
he's
20s.
young.
Yeah,
So-
but here's the thing. He ran into a veteran fighter who can box and can fight, and people. As much as people overestimated Eubank, they underestimated George Groves. You have to
You
give
can't
George
underestimate
his
George
credit.
Groves.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to give George
Groves
his
had
credit.
that big fight experience
Yep.
against Frotch at the Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
He knows.
Got to give George his credit. George, you can't, it can't all be about Eubank and our,
No,
his-
Eubanks is going to lose to a lot of guys because of that.
Okay.
No,
Doug-
he is, but I
Dave
like
is
him.
off the Eubank.
Yeah,
He's
he's
off
off.
the
I would like to manage him. You can make a lot of money off him. He's got a lot of upside, but there's a certain point he can't go any further.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have one more birthday.
Get the right.
Last birthday, Dave.
Okay.
Oh, Ryan
Yeah.
Barnett.
Last
Ryan
one.
Burnett is on the undercard this weekend too. Good fighter.
Okay.
Ryan
He's a bantamweight, right?
118 pounds.
Okay, here's a sort of multiple question. Okay, Robert Guerrero's birthday, and who put him into a temporary retirement?
Robert Guerrero.
Robert Guerrero. How old? We're supposed to guess how old
How
he is?
old is he, and who put him in temporary retirement?
Well, I know you put him in temporary retirement.
What's his
Right,
nickname,
exhibition.
Doug?
The Ghost.
The Ghost. That's
The
right.
Ghost.
The Ghost of Gilroy, California. Great guy, by the way.
Triple G. Guerrero from Gilroy and the Ghost.
How old would Guerrero be?
I want to say mid 30s. Is that?
Yeah.
30s?
No, that's fair. Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Who put him into temporary retirement?
I'm
I
gonna
think
say,
I'm
but I'm
gonna-
gonna. He's not as old as we think. He's been through the ringer.
And
He's
he made
fought
a lot of
guys.
money.
Well, yeah, because he fought at an unnaturally heavy weight. You know,
And also,
I
wasn't
think
he
he was
on
at his
the
best
first
at
PBC
lightweight.
show? Wasn't he on that
Yes,
that first PBC
against
card?
it was against Keith Thurman.
Thurman
That's
Guerrero.
right. I'm gonna say Guerrero is 34.
That's a good guess. I'm gonna say 35. I'll go one up.
Let's say 36.
Oh, I
35.
finally got one. First one I
Yeah,
ever
nice.
won.
What's your Twitter handle? Everyone's asking.
Everyone's
He wants to
That's
know that
JP
secret.
is under the radar.
Ask Ryan Scalia. He'll tell you.
35.
Scalia will tell you. I'm under the
35,
radar.
nice.
So I'm gonna read
Happy
everyone the
birthday to
card.
Robert
The
Guerrero.
card for Saturday Showtime at 2:15 Pacific. Joshua Parker, Povetkin Price, which should be interesting.
Interesting.
Burnett is defending his title.
Cringy.
And Josh Kelly, Jordy's favorite fighter. Josh Kelly versus Carlos Molina. Josh Kelly's a great prospect
And
at any rate.
that's on Showtime, right?
Showtime.
picked up the Joshua
Picked up
fight.
the Joshua fight. So let's get predictions. Joshua Parker, what do you think, Coach?
No brainer.
Really? What? AJ, you like AJ?
Big time. Big time.
What round?
I'm going to say 2 minutes and 18 seconds of the seventh.
I love it. I love it.
Seventh round.
Seventh.
This one's hard for me because the odds are so crazy. You know, AJ.
What are the odds
Well,
on that
AJ,
fight?
after he beat Klitschko, he's a heavy favorite every single fight.
Right.
So you know, he's like 12-1, which is not giving Parker any respect at all. But I do think AJ wins. But I guess I'm questioning the number of rounds. I think Parker can go some rounds. So you said 7. I'm gonna be crazy and say decision for Joshua.
Yeah.
I'll say decision.
I like that. I think Parker can go the distance.
Parker. I have respect for Parker.
I'm gonna say Joshua decision. If there's a stoppage, it happens late in the fight.
Yeah, and Dougie's been pretty damn good the last 6 months or so with
Yeah,
these
I think
decision picks.
I think it's gonna be if it's a stoppage, and I can see a scenario where Parker gets the stoppage if Joshua runs out of gas
I could see
and
that
gets
too.
caught late.
I respect Parker.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
at the odds, I'll probably bet on Parker. I don't expect him to win.
Parker's looked
but
like crap his last 2 fights, and he didn't look great in his title win against
Tom and I
Andy
were talking about
Ruiz.
that.
Yeah.
He's looked better in his previous.
But I
fights.
think he's going to be really up for this fight. I think he's probably had a pretty good camp.
he needs his weight lower.
He could take a shot, and when his weight is lower,
Joshua
his
can
hand
punch.
speed is up there. But Joshua can punch. He's got good speed and good combinations, and I think combination punches can take out Parker. Can definitely outpoint Parker. But if there's a stoppage, I think it happens like around the 10th round.
You know, Doug, I
10th
agree
or
with
11th
you.
round.
I agree with you. What do you think, Tom? For that
I
one?
agree with that. Joshua by late KO.
Okay.
stoppage.
And what do you guys think? Price and Povetkin. I think round one.
Povetkin destroys
Round
Price,
one.
man, and that's brutal. I don't even want to see that.
Povetkin, that's on that show, right?
That might be a Lucas Brown type
Povetkin
knockout.
can fight. That guy can fight.
He
When
can really
Vladimir fought him in Moscow, that wasn't an easy fight.
What a performance by Vladimir.
That wasn't an easy fight.
mean, when you look at Vladimir's
Povetkin's very,
resume-
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he doesn't really get the headlines here, but that guy can fight.
He did
Povetkin
And he
can
was a
take a
gold
shot.
medalist also.
And he can punch.
That was one of the few times where 2 Olympic gold
true.
medalists fought each other.
Yeah, Povetkin was a world amateur champion.
Take a shot.
He can take his shots in here.
Oh yeah, that kind of shot. Yeah. Wow. All right.
Okay, Coach.
Okay, I got a question
All right.
for boxing. Okay, this fight was March 21st, 1963, Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium, the only fight ever at Dodger Stadium.
The only fight ever there?
Yeah, I was there in person.
Yeah, there was a
There
bunch
were
of
only
title fights.
3 championship
One of
fights.
them, one of the title fights was tragic.
Right.
The tragic one was Davey Moore
That was Davey
against
Moore.
Sugar
Who
Ramos.
killed Davey Moore?
Yeah. There's a lot of factors in that fatality.
Even the ring announcer, the TV announcer got killed going home in a car
Really?
crash.
Is that
Car crash?
serious? Wow.
Hank Weaver.
Wow.
On the same night.
It's a cursed card. I believe there was a welterweight title fight on there. Emil Griffith and Luis Rodriguez from Cuba. Great underrated Cuban champion, Luis Rodriguez. Yeah.
Who won that fight?
You know what? I think Rodriguez won that fight. Yeah, and he only held the title for like a month because they had like an immediate rematch.
Yeah, rematching Griffith.
Yeah, but all of the I think they fought 3 times, Griffith and Rodriguez, and they were all very, very close fights. So Rodriguez was a welterweight who routinely fought the best middleweight contenders of the day. And I'm telling you, the 60s was a great decade for boxing, and Coach knows firsthand. What would the 3rd title fight have been?
I'll give you a little hint.
Yeah, give me
That's
a
out
hint.
of our range, right, JP? We have like no
You guys weren't even
discussion
born.
in that one, no.
Or you either.
I won't get this one, Coach.
2 out of 3 so
The
far.
guy
Give me a hint.
The guy who lost the fight was 18 years old, fought at the LA Coliseum
Oh. This
against
must have been a Mondo Ramos fight. No? Not Mondo Ramos?
in that era.
Huh.
And this guy fought Carlos Ortiz.
Ooh, battling Torres. So who would battling Torres would have fought? This was not the Ortiz fight.
And this was for the vacant super lightweight.
Vacant lightweight
Yeah,
tie.
but this guy is not a big name.
Oh, so
He knocked him out.
Hey, but battling Torres was popular in LA, right? He was a popular young Mexican fighter.
Big time.
And you were at the Carlos
Dave
Ortiz
was at
fight
all
with
those
Torres?
fights.
Yeah, I was at the Carlos Ortiz fight too.
Carlos
Which was
Ortiz is
incredible.
so great.
That was the most incredible
Did
fight.
your,
He's so
did your,
underrated.
Did your Toys R Us jump rope come apart already?
Yes. This thing weighs like 2 ounces too.
If Spence,
Dave, who was it? Was it?
I don't know if you'd ever heard of it. I mean, this
I
guy.
don't know. Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
get
he
into
will.
it.
Roberto Cruz.
Oh, Roberto Cruz. I have heard of him. Yeah, yeah.
So that was first round knockout. But
Wow.
when Battling Torres went, he
really went.
He went. You know.
Yeah.
But he was undefeated at 18 years old. Fought for the championship against Carlos Ortiz.
That's a tough
and,
guy to
and went
fight, yeah.
and it was a very competitive fight, and he ran out of gas in the 10th. It was over.
You don't run out of gas against Carlos Ortiz.
Carlos Ortiz, one of the best of all time.
if Spence and
One of-
Crawford were to fight, who would win?
That'll be the big fight in a few
Spence
years.
and Crawford.
fight,
You know, going on Spence's last fight, I'm going to give him a slight edge. You know, prior to that last fight, I gave Crawford the slight edge, just based on Crawford's experience and his versatility. But Spence has got one of those styles where, even if you're a really versatile boxer, as tough and crafty and strong, mentally and physically as Crawford is, he could break you down. Spence is that tough.
Spence is right there,
He's
yeah.
that strong himself and powerful, and it's a natural weight for him. Now, I might flip-flop again based on Crawford's welterweight debut, but I have to see it first. Right now, I know Crawford is the best junior welterweight in the world. I don't know about him at welterweight. It's a different ballgame. The higher you go up in weight, the tougher it gets for most fighters. So.
Spence, man. He's the truth.
Yeah, when he went to England and
There you go.
fought,
He answered
Kell
a lot
Brook.
of questions right there.
Kell Brook, I rate him very high. You saw what he did at 154. I think Kell's going to be a great 154 pounder. But for Spence to go over there to the UK and beat Kell Brook like that, his hometown,
Unbelievable.
was, that said a lot.
I like
That's
Spence in that fight.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a chance they make that?
Not soon.
No, both guys would have to be
That's
built up.
He's
You know,
not
the
gonna-
PBC and Showtime would have to make Spence into something special. The quickest way to do that is to put pressure on Al Heyman's other fighters who have world titles, namely Keith Thurman. So the winner of Spence Thurman,
Spence has been
that's
calling
like a
out for him
unified
for a long
champion right
time.
there. He's going to be, high on the pound for pound list and all that kind of stuff. And you also want to put other notable welterweights in there with Spence, like a Danny Garcia. And if Spence beats a Keith Thurman and a Garcia or a Sean Porter, preferably all three, he's the man at welterweight. And then, Top Rank does their usual good job of promoting and, getting Bud Crawford on all these ESPN platforms. Because Crawford's already got a name. He's already a draw in his home region, so just continue to build on that, and then it makes sense. Enough money's involved, enough interest is involved to where maybe ESPN does a pay-per-view, so both fighters, get the money that they're going to demand.
I don't see Thurman fighting.
I want to read this.
Thurman's
I
like
wanna
the
read
modern
this on
boxer.
Periscope. Avalon Tuesday night is at 1735 Vine Street in
right.
Hollywood. 1735.
Hollywood and
Right by
Vine.
Hollywood and Vine,
Okay,
right by
you
the
want to know
W
the zip
Hotel there.
code?
Zip code.
90028.
You got it. 90028. Coach knows every zip
There's a
code.
metro station right around the corner there at the W Hotel.
And tickets, check out 360 Promotions on Twitter.
Start at
360 Promotions.
$60.
Funny, Ryan Martin just retweeted this stream.
Oh, he did.
Martin,
Ryan Martin, Tuesday
Way to
night,
go, Blue
headlining,
Chip.
10 rounds, Ryan. We'll be there
Yeah,
to see
Blue
you
Chip.
fight. We'll be there to
I
see
like
you
this
fight.
nickname.
Yeah, that's a good nickname too.
Tuesday night,
Very
and then I
financial.
want to read this. Today's March 25th. Canelo, you got 41 days till you lose. 41 days till May
said
5th.
that?
I say that.
You say
I
that?
say that. 41 days.
By decision
Viva
or not?
Triple G.
Wait,
Viva
All
Triple
right,
G.
now you have to give us your Twitter handle.
wait, are you mad at Canelo for looking so
I'm a
good
little
in the
mad at
first fight?
Canelo. I'm a little mad at Canelo, but I can root for a side.
You were more mad at the judges.
Yeah.
Not so much.
I mean,
at
Canelo, I
just
thought
the
did an
judges.
incredible
Canelo
job.
fought a great fight, but I'm allowed to cheer for a side.
Yeah.
I cheer for Triple G. Always.
Yeah, but are you mad at Canelo?
I'm mad at Canelo. Yes.
Everyone's mad at Canelo.
Yes.
Okay, are you mad at yourself?
You know, that's an everyday battle.
Psychoanalysis here.
You know, we bet on the right guy and it was a draw. So, but if you bet on the draw in Vegas, you know, it gets refunded. So now we got another chance. But I am curious over the next 40 days. KO decision. That's
Are you going to bet on this fight?
of course. Yeah. Of course.
Biggest fight in boxing. How could he?
Yeah,
How could he?
yeah.
How could he? It's not.
Let me ask you, do you feel like you're a degenerate gambler?
No, all disciplined. No.
Okay.
I'm telling you the truth.
Do you use any emotion at all in this?
No, you can't use emotion.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, there's emotion. Of course, you know.
No, I think you are very disciplined.
Yeah, overall, yes.
Okay, we have
Well,
about,
I didn't time us, but it's currently
Yeah,
9:46.
probably-
we have
I thought we were gonna split this
have
video.
4 minutes to
Wind
go.
4 minutes
Wind
to
that
go.
up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have 4 minutes to go. We want to thank everyone for watching. We want to apologize for the screw up on Tom's phone.
Part 2. You just got to log into part 2.
That's right. Part 1 and 2. Last week, we had so many viewers. We thank everybody. It was incredible. We want to thank Samir for coming.
And we're going to see you Tuesday night, Samir.
We were
Yes.
all
Tuesday
ready.
night, Hollywood.
Yep.
Doors open at 5.
Yeah.
It's going to turn into a nightclub. The fighters are going to come out, interact with the fans. What do you think, Dave, about that concept?
It's incredible.
I
The
love
whole
it.
thing. The
The
place
Kata
is
girls are going to be
beautiful.
dancing in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
When's the weigh-in?
Oh, the weigh-in.
Good
Oh, the
question.
weign-in.
Good
You know, that's
question.
Doug Fisher.
Yeah.
That's a good question because the weigh-in's open to the public. It's at the Avalon. So if you want to come down, if you want to see Suri Boachuk, if you want to see Abel Sanchez, Trainer of the Year, if you want to see Ryan Martin, Blue Chip, if you want to see Brian Sabato in his pro debut, the weigh-in will be at the Avalon, and it starts at 12 o'clock, 12 noon.
12 noon.
Yeah,
Okay.
at the Avalon tomorrow. You can see all the
Be
fighters
there
up close.
in Square, yeah.
JP, isn't that how you check out some of your bets? You
It's
look at the
incredible.
fighters
Yeah.
on the scales.
I always try to go to the weigh-ins and see the weigh-ins because it tells you a lot about the fighters. It tells you a lot about the
They
preparation.
look in each other's eyes.
I look
and
at the eye
stare down.
contact. I look at the shape they're in. I look at how they're treating each other. I look at the tension between each fighter. There's a lot you can tell from the
And
weigh-ins.
most importantly, if you don't like boxing, Cynthia Conte is going to be
There
there
you go.
live
There
at
you
the
go.
weigh-in.
Okay.
And she's going to be hosting the weigh-in. It's going to be on live. It's going to be on Ring TV.
Okay.
The show's going to be streamed on Ring TV as well.
Yeah.
So the weigh-in will be at Ring TV and get everyone ready for the show on the.
And then the food at the Avalon is not going to be just nachos.
Yeah, so
We're
don't
gonna-
go to dinner.
Yeah.
Don't go to dinner. There's plenty of food at the
I
Avalon.
mean, you have a whole.
They got a whole menu. Yeah.
Cynthia Conte just
Oh, man.
commented, woohoo!
Coach, tell us about safe driving.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for coming to.
Glad to be
You
here.
missed last
I'm
week.
glad to be here. I apologize
You
for
add
last week.
so much, JP.
I apologize for last
I
week.
think people, all the gamblers, tune in for JP's insights.
I was
They
not-
don't,
Did
they don't
you give
care
a pick?
about our
Did you
boxing.
give a pick for
Oh,
next
you gotta
week?
give a
You got to
pick.
give a
You gotta
pick.
give a pick.
It's sort of
You
like
gotta-
Tom.
You got to give
Boo.
your bet.
Yeah.
Tom
Okay.
Boo.
Pick for
I
who?
had so
For this
many
week,
people.
for weekly picks.
So
Oh,
many
yeah,
people.
Yeah, for
what's-
this Saturday.
What's your
Ask
weekly
next
pick?
Saturday.
Oof, that's tough because they don't have odds on it yet, but I would say Povetkin under in rounds, no matter what the rounds are.
Okay.
No matter
good
what the
pick.
rounds are.
Yeah.
But if you had to make me pick on the other one, you know, in betting, a lot of times you take value. I would take a shot with Parker at the 10-1 odds. You know, I mean, he's not a
I'll book that bet. I'm
okay,
gonna
he's
take
taking AJ.
Joshua.
All right, you
Yeah.
take Joshua, I'll take Parker, but I'll take Povetkin under in the rounds. I don't know what the rounds will be, but let's just
So the
say
under.
Let's do this.
Povetkin, the under,
Let's just
yeah.
do this. Let's say Povetkin KO. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's just say
That's
that.
fair enough.
So,
Yeah.
That's
all
the
right.
pick of the week.
That's
It's
smart.
the pick of the week. So, Coach, safe driving.
Don't text and drive, right? Let the people in. Wave when
Don't-
they're.
Here's what you got to do. You just got to take the high road in everything. Driving's the most important, but you got to be kind to everybody. You got to love everybody. It works. You'll feel better. They feel better. Just let them go through whatever crap they're going through, and just be kind and thank them.
Then you'll make their day when you let them into the lane, right?
And you make your own day too.
Right.
It's all good.
Don't-
How's your driving?
Don't text and drive. That's what Doug got called out.
Oh yeah, that was so funny. I was watching that stream.
What a hater. What a little hater. Oh my
Your daughter
gosh.
came in?
Yeah.
I was cracking
That's
up.
undercover.
What a troll. I'm proud of her.
Got you.
At least she was truthful.
Anyway, we'll see you.
Good reminder.
We'll see you Tuesday
We'll
night.
see it. Yeah,
Tuesday
at
night.
the
Tuesday night at the
Avalon.
fights.
Can't wait.
360
It's gonna be
Promotions.
great.
Hollywood Fight Nights.
All right.
Oh, and Murat Gassiev is going to be there to support Sergey
awesome.
Oh,
Bojack.
you
So
got
if
you
wanna
got to
see
say what's up to guys.
a unified cruiserweight champion who's going to be in one of the biggest fights of the year.
Sure.
Murat Gassiev's going to be there. Abel Sanchez is going to be there. A whole training camp from Big Bear is going to come down to support.
That's a great
Bojack.
team.
So
it's a
Murat
great
will be
group.
down there. I'm sure he'll take photos and sign some autographs for the fans.
Tell 'em
Will
to
Ben
drive-
Lira be there?
And Ben Lira.
All right.
Ben Lira has a fighter on the show. Henry Ramirez has a fighter.
Oh, I haven't
on
seen
the
Henry
show.
in a long time.
Right.
Okay, this will be a little bit of a
So
reunion.
it's going to be a lot of local fighters, and then
Some
the main
legendary
event fighters.
trainers.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And
Yeah,
your
it'll be a
man
nice
from New
little
York making
party.
his pro debut.
And Brian Sabalo. Yeah,
And someone else is making their pro debut too.
Yeah, it's
Those are the best fights, aren't they?
Pro debuts
They're the
are
best
the
fights.
best fights.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so exciting.
They're very
really-
special.
Yeah, you don't know how they're going to react. No headgear and
Oh, it's
everything
really
like
good.
that.
And
Yeah.
then they also bring, the fans. They
family
bring a very
and their
spirited. Yeah,
gym.
everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
their
big deal.
neighbors and family
Everybody.
and the people they work with. It's all great.
We'll see everyone next week.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll see you.
Oh, yeah, see you at the next show.
See ya.
All right.